After 80 games, the dream of winning a division title has arrived. A win tonight in Detroit, and the 76ers can clinch their first division crown since 1983. The hard work, the coaching, the aches and pains, the highs and lows, all that is encompassed in a long season can all be worthwhile tonight, as the 76ers' magic number is 1. Keeping the dream from coming true this evening is the defending world champion Detroit Pistons.
Live from the Palace in Auburn Hills, it's the Sixers versus the Pistons.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to 76ers basketball. Neil Funk with Steve Mix. The Palace at Auburn Hills, the setting, and what might be an Atlantic Division championship for the Philadelphia 76ers. Well, it could happen tonight if the Sixers can beat the Detroit Pistons. A club, Steve, that they have seemed to own to some degree. They beat them twice already and lost the third game that they probably should have won here at the Palace.
Well, they were 4 points up with 7 seconds to go, an errant pass and an overtime game, and all of a sudden you're 2-1 against the Detroit Pistons. But it's going to be a big game. It's going to be a big night, and there's going to be an awful lot of thrills if this team wins.
Does Detroit have anything to play for?
Well, they really don't. I was talking to Chuck Daly prior to the game. The only thing that he's going to tell his players is you don't want the Philadelphia 76ers coming into your building and dancing on you.
The Sixers certainly have something to play for because they would prefer to end it right here and now, not have to go back to Philadelphia and face the Boston Celtics on Sunday in a game that then would decide the championship.
Well, something that everybody's been talking about for the last couple of weeks. You want to win it in Detroit or before. Obviously, it wasn't before because the Boston Celtics have been playing very well. So it's going to have to be tonight. You don't ever want to go into the last game of the season and have that game decide whether it's a championship or not, because anything can happen.
The biggest game of the year? Well, we'll talk about the matchups when we come back right after this.
1990, a new generation comes of age. The Oldsmobile Silhouette, the exciting new Cutlass Supreme Convertible, the totally new Cutlass Supreme 40, the new 88 Royale, the new long look of the Tornado Trofeo.
This is not your father's Oldsmobile. This is the new generation of
My baby loves to be treated special.
Nothing's too good for my baby. Nothing but ultra. Nothing but ultra.
Treat your baby to the power and performance of Sunoco Ultra 94.
Fill it up. Ultra.
At 94 octane, it's the highest under the sun. Sunoco Ultra 94.
Nothing's too good for my baby.
On October 28th, for 2 tempting hours, Mel Kaiser was on Easy Street.
I was behind an armored truck. The rear door popped open and it was raining money.
But instead of keeping it, Mel turned in over $57,000.
Well, they call me Mr. Honesty. I've been called worse.
To everyday heroes everywhere, we offer our best. Smooth, never bitter Miller beer.
I got it.
The best comes shining through.
Why me?
Miller.
You can raise the IQ of the phone you already own with one simple call to Bell of Pennsylvania. Frustrated by busy signals? Get repeat call and your phone will keep dialing until the call goes through. Call this number now to order repeat call and let your phone do the dialing when the line is busy. We'll sign you up right over the phone so nobody even has to come over and you won't be tied to the house. Ooh. Call now for your free IQ services connection from the intelligent network of Bell Atlantic.
Steve, we've talked about the importance of this ball game, and there are a lot of interesting matchups.
Well, when you take a look at the matchups in tonight's ball game, let's first take a look at the guard spots. You got Dumars and Hawkins, and all of a sudden you're taking a look at 2 players that are scoring 18 points a game. They are excellent defensive players. They can score from the outside. They can drive to the basket. And they're pretty much equal in their own abilities. And the other matchup will be Bill Laimbeer and Mike Jaminski, both averaging 13 points per game. We talked about them a little bit in the pregame with Neil Hartman, and they're both excellent outside shooters. And one thing that does, it brings the defensive center out, and it opens up the middle for slashing driving guards and for Charles Barkley and Rick Mahorn.
The division leaders head-to-head when we come back.
If you're a single parent with a child under 5, attend Pennsylvania Hospital's 13-week series on parenting your child alone, beginning April 26th, 8 to 9:30 p.m. in the Child and Parent Center. This support group will discuss the special needs of single parents and their preschool children. Dinner will be provided. Reservations are required. Questions, call 829-5555.
Thanks. Okay, you're booked until 10 o'clock.
No good. I got a 9:30 meeting. Have you seen my appointment book?
It's by the phone.
I can't find it.
It's there. How about Midway?
Midway to the phone?
Midway Airlines. They've got a 7 o'clock, but you're not in their frequent flyer program.
Well, if they got the right schedules, I'll join.
Great, I'll sign you up. Did you find it?
Find what?
Midway Airlines. What flying should be.
When Willis Carrier invented air conditioning, he freed American industry from heat and humidity. In a printing plant in 1902, in the industries of today. In the homes of today, you'll find Carrier more often than any other. Call your Carrier dealer now and install the first name in cooling, Carrier.
Get a $150 rebate at John Hinkowski, Wilmington, Dickman Sargent in Pendel, Montco Heating and Air Conditioning, Norristown, or Custom Air in Bensalem.
I can feel a difference. They must have improved the power.
Automobile Magazine calls it the best compact van you can buy. We call it the all-new Previa. It's here.
It's great.
It's a Toyota. And it's like nothing you've ever seen.
I can get up, move around, even walk through it. I didn't expect so much room in a family car.
The all-new Previa. It's here. It's a Toyota.
It was beautiful.
And it's like nothing you've ever seen.
Doesn't get too much better than that to start.
That's a tremendous rendition, isn't it? That's super.
Big ball game. The Sixers and the Pistons here at the Palace in Auburn Hills. Neil Funk, Steve Mix. The Sixers can clinch the Atlantic Division title and win it for the first time since 1983. And Sixer fans remember what happened that year.
World Championship.
Mark it down. Here is the starting lineup for the 76ers.
Auburn, Charles Barkley. The other forward, number 44 from Hampton Institute, Rick Mahorn. At center, number 42 from Duke, Mike Jaminski. And one of the guards wearing number 33 from Bradley, Percy Hawkins. And at the other guard, number 12 from Duke, Johnny Dawkins.
For the Sixers, Barkley, Mahorn, Jaminski, the front line, Hawkins and Dawkins in the backcourt. The Sixers coming to the ball game with 52 victories. Trying to make it 53, and more importantly, that 53rd would represent the Atlantic Division title, as we said. And, of course, the opposition, the Detroit Pistons, the defending world champions, Central Division champions, and the team with the best record in the Eastern Conference. And here's the starting lineup now for the Pistons.
And one of the forwards, number 10, from Southeast Oklahoma State, Dennis Rodman. And the other forward, number 53 from Washington, James Buddha Edwards. At center, number 40 from Notre Dame, Bill Laimbeer. Welcome back to the starting lineup at guard, number 4 from McNeese State, Joe Dumars. And at the other guard, your captain, number 11 from Indiana, Isaiah Thomas.
For the Pistons, Rodman, Edwards, Lambier, the front line, backcourt, Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. And right off the bat, Steve, we get an indication of how seriously Chuck is taking this game. Dumars has been back since suffering the broken wrist, but he has not been in the starting lineup, but he is there tonight. Look at the officials. Bernie Fryer, Jim Capers, and Jake O'Donnell. Fryer on the left, Capers in the middle. O'Donnell on the right. So 3 veteran officials to work a big game.
Well, you couldn't have asked for 3 better officials, like you said, but getting back to Joe Dumars for a minute, he missed 7 games. He was out just 16 days with a broken left hand. You believe that? All of a sudden, he has now played in 4 straight games. But because this is a big game for the Philadelphia 76ers, they decided to insert Joe Dumars into the starting lineup. And Chuck Daly's definitely taking this game seriously.
Tonight's tip-off is brought to you by Miller High Life. The best comes shining through. Capers puts it in the air, and the tip flipped into the backcourt by Edwards to Isaiah Thomas.
And the charter got here early last night, so the Philadelphia 76ers, despite playing last night against Indiana, should be rested.
Well, Detroit's had a ton of days off, though.
Yes.
Edwards inside. He missed it point-blank range.
They've had 4 days off, something like that?
Yeah. So you talk about resting. Offensive foul on Charles as he tried to drive off the left side.
One of the best offensive players being guarded by probably the best defensive player in the league, and that's Dennis Rodman.
You want to talk about a matchup. That may be the matchup of the night right there. Watching those two go at each other. Dumars, jumper, got it. 2-0, the Pistons.
Shot down like there wasn't anything wrong with that hand.
Well, he's been playing with kind of a soft cast or splint. And that is off now. Driving Hersey. Floats it up short. Intimidated a little bit by Edwards. Flips it out, and Isaiah had trouble with it. Picked up by Dumars. Dumars, Lambier way out high. That's what Steve talked about in our open. Isaiah dribble drive. Kicks it back. Rodman from the wing. And they'll give him that shot. He banks it in. He is not a great outside shooter, although his outside shooting has gotten better this year.
Everybody remembers a couple years ago when he came down with time running out in the final game against the Lakers out in L.A., and he bricked that 16-footer, and Chuck almost died.
Rick Mahorn in traffic, fouled by Lambier, one of his best buddies and a former teammate, of course. But once they tee it up, no love lost between Mahorn and any of the current Pistons.
Yeah, you know, you can be friends with every player in the league, but when you step out on the floor, you have no friends other than the guys in the red shirts or the team that you're on.
And nobody wants to win this game more than Rick Mahorn.
Oh, Rick would love to win it here in Detroit.
How would that be for vindication, whatever you want to say, for him after being traded or actually not protected in the expansion draft after winning the championship here in Detroit, and to do it in front of this crowd and in front of Jack McCloskey and Chuck Daly. Turnaround Isaiah. Off target. The rebound snapped down by Mahorn. Wheels the pass ahead. Lambier was there. Mike Kaminsky didn't see it coming. Edwards into traffic and stripped and fouled. The foul is on Rick Mahorn.
James Edwards will go to the line, and a lot of people in Detroit thought maybe James Edwards would have been the one that Detroit would have put on the list not to be protected. But when you take a look at it, in the last 22 games, he's averaging better than 18 points per game. So that was a wise choice also. But maybe Vinny, who was not having the best of year, when you look back and you say, well, maybe Vinny's the one that should have been put up. But too late to look back now. The 76ers have Mahorn, and he has definitely been one of the reasons the 76ers have improved.
Sixers at 52-28. They are 18-22 on the road.